G'day folks, Pakira here and welcome to another episode of How To. Today we are going to start what is probably maybe 2 episodes, it might even be 3 depending on the length, of the full process from what we've discussed and hopefully shown in the last few episodes of the How To series, of field preparation, getting in the seeds, fertilizing and doing all that jazz up until the end. And hopefully I might even just fast forward a few months and complete it with another harvest. Now today we are going to start off with something I never covered in any of the last episodes, and that was plowing. The reason I didn't cover it is because it's, well, A, you didn't get it as a starter, you got a cultivator, and B, because I think I wanted to leave it into the end because you don't always have to plow. I like to start off when I'm on a new farm or a new field with ploughing, but in game, after you've ploughed once, you only have to plough again if you do any root vegetables or root crops, I should say. So it doesn't really become as important. It is a good thing to use as weed maintenance as well, and I kind of touched on that in the last couple of episodes when we discussed weeds. So today what we're going to do, I'm going to jump out so you can see, we have got a plow attached to the back of this tractor. There she is there. So we're going to touch on ploughing, and what this does is basically it plows the field, turns the soil over, and like I said, it is 100% guaranteed to remove weeds, and weeds won't grow back during that season of planting, because obviously you've uprooted all the soil, uprooted all the weeds and everything else. Now we may need to after the ploughing, we may need to stone again. That will depend on the size of the stones, so we will either grab the stone picker there if they're large to medium stones, or like we did in the tutorial, we'll use the roller. After we've done that, then we don't have to worry about lime, because as you can see, it's already limed on this field, which we did on one of the liming episodes. Once we've done the stone removal, we'll then go through, plant some crop in here, thinking wheat, and then we'll go through, roll it, create that seed bed, and then we'll be back into where we did last time, another seed of fertilizing. Now because we've done ploughing today, we will not have to worry about weeds. And then, like I said, we will hopefully be to a stage where we need to then apply the second dose of fertilizer and then come to harvest. So I wanted to put the whole thing into one field, pretty much back to back. And this, again, like I said, this is how I do it. I never profess to be the expert, know it all, but I think sometimes that comes in quite handy dandy, because you can play this game any way that suits you, and this is the way I play it, and it works for me. So without further ado, I have a plow hooked up here to the tractor. The plow is currently unfolded, so what we need to do with the plow is unfold it by pressing X. Now with a plow, it's not straight behind you, it's to the side, and this is why I don't like ploughing too much either. I like a good plow, one of the old plows, which is a modded plow that you tow behind you. It's offset, okay? So at the end of each row, what you're supposed to do is rotate the plow by pressing B, and you'll see here, I'll rotate the plow, and then just simple rotates it to the other side, ready to go. Now that wouldn't work at this stage because we're not going to be on that side of the field. So we'll rotate that back, and there we go. Okay, so this digs up there, so we're good. I think we should be okay. Again, straight lines aren't my forte. So we're ready to go. Again, we don't need to worry about turning it on. We've made sure it's rotated correctly. It's unfolded. I can now lower, and we should be able to just drive ahead. Now I won't say straight ahead, I will just say ahead. Now this old tractor's having a little bit of a go to start off. She might be a little bit underpowered to start until she gets into those other gears, but no, we should be good. And as you can see then, I'll try and focus a little bit here. As the tractor goes down, we are completely uprooting the soil there. Okay, and as you can tell, I've gone offline as well. Doesn't take long for me to do that, right? But again, it doesn't matter. So we'll just continue down here. Okay, now we'll lift the plow, and then we will rotate the plow by pressing B. Careful not to drive over the crops there. And I'll just, while that's doing that, I will just, again, we can leave headlands, which we will do here anyway, and I'll tidy up all any little bits later on. Okay, and we'll just lower the plow now. And we'll just continue the best that we can. Again, I do try and to overlap just a little bit, so I do, you know, if I miss any spots in the line, I can get them on this section here, and I'm trying to stay to around about 270 as best as I can, and hopefully we can then cover enough. So this is a lot better, a lot straighter lines, because I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. So again, we're going to get to the end here. I can just keep going, and I'm going to. We're just going to press V now to raise it, and I'm going to press B to rotate. Make sure I don't get too close to the house. Just go here. And again, you can see where we've been at the end there. We left a little bit apart, but that's all good to go. Now we're going to lower, and I'm just going to drive again. She's good to go. Try, and we're just overlapping a little bit. Try and get to around about the 90 if I can. Might just stay a bit past 90, around 92 for now, just because I think the angle I've come into this field initially has been a little bit off. We can try and get there. The tractor again, she's a bit underpowered for this. I will show you the stats of this plow anyway when we get to the end of this row. If we get to the end of this row, so we're back on the 90 now. The 90 degrees. So if you look at the little mini map at the bottom there on the left, you will see that there's like a little degree at the bottom there, one of the numbers there, currently 89.7, so it's close to 90 as we're going to get. So we'll just keep coming here, and I'll get to the end, realistic end, and I'll just raise it up here now, and again I'll just fold her up, not fold, rotate, and I'm just going to have to just move around a little bit here. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly show you what we have here, the plow. So again, the plows are in your tools section under plows, and we okay, so what we've got here is the Neveland EcoMat. It's 220 horsepower, 31 tons, 3.5 width, and 7 miles per hour is the maximum speed we can use while it's in use. And now we have got that leased. I have not bought it. We are under a lease for this as well. Okay, so that is the stats there for this plow. And again, we will just get down. I'll do one more before I love you and leave you. So I can just get there. I'll try and get to about 270 as best as I can. And I'll lower her now. And I'll just keep going. Pedal to the metal. Takes a while. Just the tractor's got to just go through the gears, and because I'm on automatic gearing, obviously, you can't really manipulate the gears and stay to a low gear sometimes to help you out initially. But we're doing okay this side. We are. I mean, we're less into the actual old grooves, if you like. Rows, plows, I don't know what they're called. If I did, I would be a farmer. But yeah, so that one was a lot better. And we'll get down to the end here anyway, and I will raise the implement. Of course, we're going to leave that gap there like we did last time, but that's fine because we'll come down and do the headland. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the rest of this field offline. I'll come back to you when we're doing the headlands there and finishing up. So I'll see you soon, folks. Okay, folks, so we're just coming up here. I've just done the headlands on the other side. We are just coming down now and doing the last headland, if I can actually stay on track here. And just go to there, and brilliant. Okay, so the ploughing is done. Nice, and so you'll notice, if you can remember from the cultivating episode, is the texture on the ground looks a lot different. We'll jump out of the tractor. So we've come to the field now, and it just, no fertilizer, no information, basic, ready to rock and roll, pretty much. There is some stones in here, so let's have a look at the PDA and just see what sort of stones it's going to give us an idea of what we are dealing with here. So go down to scroll with the mouse wheel. That's what I'm doing, and we can go down to the soil composition, and again you'll see that we are still dealing with small stones. So what that does, it means, if you can remember from the last, well, not from the last episode, from the episode that we dealt with stones we only have to roll these in. So that comes in quite handy dandy for us today. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to, so we already have a tractor hook. Well, do we have it hooked up? Yeah, we have the Massey hooked up. I'm just going to leave this here. No, I'm not going to leave this here because we need a space to turn around here. Start her up. And again, because like we did in this field ahead for the stones, we only have to deal with small stones. So we're actually quite lucky, to be frank with you. So we're going to just do this quickly. And you don't have to sit here and watch because we've already done this, but I will show it anyway. I'll just put it in like a billion speed, okay? So we'll just unfold by pressing X. I'll just get that through there. I think I'm happy with that. Okay. I'm going to lower her down by pressing V, and then we'll just get stuck in. So I want to thank you guys also for those who you have watched this, for your feedback, for your comments, your questions and everything else. I really do appreciate those. It has helped. I've enjoyed bringing these to you, and of course it's always in my sort of style, and I never profess to be a complete expert, but I've played this game in FS19, so I feel I have a decent idea of the basics, and I feel that you know, it's always good to sometimes, I know in the past, sometimes you watch all these other Let's Plays or tutorials from people who really approach the game in a very, almost realistic manner, and I do like that because it's always good to know. But I feel sometimes it can be quite intimidating depending on how, you know, how they talk, what their suggestions are and ideas, because they're approaching it from a different style. I'm just hoping that I've been able to bring to the series just my own kind of chillax, easy go style with a bit of information that you will need as well. So that is field is rolling. She has got the stones done. We now need to seed. I won't leave the roller too far away because we will need to roll this back in after seeding. Now I was thinking of doing using another seeder for this, one that would actually fertilize. But I'm going to say no to that idea. We're going to just actually jump out of actually turn the Massey off, folks. Right. So what we're going to do is going to hook up the Massey over there with the seeder again, and then we're going to get planting some wheat. So I'll be with you very shortly.